There we go. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you know.
Living the dream, living the dream.
Oh.
I have your 3 checks for Amber. Oh, that's Tammy Backstone and Rachel Denny.
Oh, Tammy hasn't come picked it up?
Tammy, I just wrote it.
Oh.
That was not for wedding planning. It was for a sale.
Okay, I'll let them know.
I think I have this cool light Brent bought me and see if it works. I don't know how to turn it on though. Where's the on button?
Oh.
Did it do anything different?
Yeah, I brightened up your face a bit.
It did?
Yeah. Well, it does when you get close, but when you sit back, it doesn't do anything.
Wonder if I should do it. Oh, that makes
Oh, no. Yeah.
I don't know what if it does not. I'll do it right here.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give like my introduction like I normally do. It's slightly different, obviously. I'm gonna introduce you guys, but I wasn't gonna have you guys talk. Do you want to talk to introduce yourself, or can I just?
I don't know. I think that we could. We don't have to talk. I mean, do you want? I do think we should do a little introduction about who's who.
So I said first, let me introduce you to these wonderful ladies on today's chat. To these lovely ladies on today's chat, we have Jamie Rapavy, the owner and CEO of Devoted Columbus. We have Kathy. Is it
Peach Lucas?
Peach Lucas, like peach, like a fruit.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna spell it phonetically. Lucas with Devoted Cincinnati and Dayton. And finally, we have Tammy Hudson, the owner of Engaged Columbus. Do you want any more introductions than that?
No, I think that should be fine. I don't know, like, so we're talking about bridal shows. Devoted as a company has been planning bridal shows for well over, I don't know, for now over 10 years, well over 10 years, maybe 12 years, for 12 years. And, even though show season we didn't get much of show season this year. We do have one that's coming up. And then, this is also to prepare for the January. Hopefully there will be January and February shows throughout next year.
So, okay. So I mentioned,
but I can say that at the end if you want.
Yeah. So I was gonna give you a chance to kind of talk about the upcoming shows at the end, but I have a little plug in here about, I said, so if you're listening tonight and haven't been to a wedding show, bridal boutique, or any type of vendor showcase, we're going to tell you why you need to attend the show at some point in your planning journey. This chat comes perfectly timed as we are hosting our big wedding show this Sunday, October 24th at Embassy Suites Hilton Columbus. So we are excited to tell you all of the reasons you should attend. Then we go into our top reasons. And then at the end, I said, Jamie, do you want to close this out and tell everyone about our upcoming shows?
Yes. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And I will go into a little bit about the wedding experience and the resale market.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's perfect. I have a headache. I'm going to take some wine and Advil. I know.
Tammy, I like your hair.
I literally just had therapy and it was flat from the rain today. I went out to Jorgensen Farms and then I just changed the part and it flipped up. So that's all I did.
Every once in a while, that flipping of the part just refreshes your hair.
My hair, yeah. My whole wig changed.
Mm-hmm. And then after I do that little introduction, I'm just gonna flip it over to Tammy. I'm gonna say, so Tammy, I'll start with you. What are your top reasons for couples to attend a wedding show? And then you'll do your 3. And then I'll say, what about you, Kathy? And then she'll do her 2. And then, okay, Jamie, what are yours? And you'll do your 2. But you can elaborate on them.
Oh shit, I missed that. So what are we talking about? What's our top 2 or 3 reasons?
So I said, okay, so I listed out the reasons and signed it to you. Did you get that?
Oh, yeah, I'm reading it now.
Yeah, open the email. I've got 1, 2, 3. Kathy's got 4, 5. Jamie's got all kinds of good stuff.
6 and 7.
Oh, the prizes.
So where I'm sorry, where am I looking? Oh, so number 6, meaning experiences.
So I'll say, Jamie, what are your top reasons? And you'll say, okay, first, it has to be the experiences. I know our wedding show focuses on experiences. We want our couple to experience their dream wedding before they even get done planning. And then you can list off different experiences.
Okay.
You can elaborate on them. Tell a story, whatever you want to do. And then once you get done with yours, I'll say, okay, now we're going to talk about some tips from the pros. So, like, what are the what do our couples need to do or need to know about actually attending a bridal show? And then I'll start with Kathy. And so she'll talk about, bring someone, make sure you bring someone with you to enjoy this, enjoy your time at a wedding show. And then you, Tammy, you have 4, 5, and 6. Again, you can tell stories. If you have a funny story about someone wearing heels, you can tell it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jamie, you have phone and come prepared.
Okay.
And then I'll open it up after you're done, Jamie, and says, does anybody have anything else to add? Any final advice for couples?
And we can use the chat as well, and just kind of, as we're thinking, mention stuff, because as all of the time when we talk, I'm like, oh this, so I'll just put them in the chat. Anybody can chat about it, or I can talk about it when it gets to me.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, absolutely, we can interrupt each other. I mean, that we can, if we don't get through this whole thing, I think it's fine. I just wanted it to be a conversation, not like our normal wedding chat Wednesdays, if we can help it.
Yeah, no.
But I wanted some structure.
Okay.
Does it go from 6 to 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can even do, oh shit, I suck. There's people in the waiting room. I totally suck. Andrea's coming?
Oh, I didn't tell the girls not to.
Sorry, you guys were waiting. I totally forgot to see that waiting room.
I was literally in the middle of texting Michelle asking what the correct link was.
Hey, Andrea, I don't have questions for you, but if you want to jump in at any time, you can. So Kathy, Tammy, and Jamie are going to talk about their top reasons, which I've already outlined for them, for couples to come to attend a wedding show.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about some pro tips. And then, if you have any ideas or want to add, we can't hear you, Kathy.
You must be muted. You know what? Maybe Andrea should talk about how, from a vendor's point of view, and how you really hope they look at the shit in their goodie bag when they get home, because there's some really good stuff. And it might be overwhelming with a ton of stuff, but there might be some really good deals in there. Good swag.
So maybe Andrea, can I put you in at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, actually not the end, but.
Or do we have anywhere where there's the secret of bringing 2 bags, the items you like bag and the items you don't like bag, and the bag that you want to look at? You guys haven't heard of that?
No,
but that's a good secret, like print out your name and labels. You know what I mean?
The brides bring 2 bags. It's a yes bag and a no bag. And the guys usually carry the no bag, and the bride carries the yes bag. And then they'll go up to the vendor and they'll be all polite and everything and say, oh, thank you. And if they don't need the information, they put it in the groom's bag or the other bag. And then the ones they want, they put it in the good bag. So
okay, add that to yours.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's somewhere.
Wait, Kathy, try to talk again.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yay. And then Andrea, do you want to do maybe your perspective from the vendor? Would this be this would be pro tips? Yeah. Do you have anything to talk on that, Andrea?
She'll think of stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, I can think of something. I don't know if it's a tip, but it's annoying when people just walk by and say, "Oh, we already have everything." Then why are you there if you already have everything? That's just a pet peeve.
Like, don't be like.
Like they should go.
Be open-minded.
Open-minded, yeah.
Yeah.
Go with an open mind, because I always said, like, when you're going past somebody and they don't know, usually for Devoted, they never knew what I did because we do so much. So how do they walk right by and not be engaging or say anything or say, "Oh, I've got that," or "I don't need you"? And I'm like, but I'm giving away $1 million right now.
Yeah.
So, like, they didn't even come to see what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
so they should take advantage. I mean, like, just spend their time wisely. Ask questions.
But be open-minded. You never know what else those vendors offer.
Right, exactly.
Okay, if you think of anything, I'll just throw it to you after Jamie, after she talks about bringing the 2 bags.
Okay.
And I'll just say, Andrea, you've been a vendor at wedding shows in the past. What pro tips do you have to offer from a vendor's perspective?
Okay.
Can I ask a couple questions? Because I just want to,
Yes.
how exactly does this work?
Yes, so I'll fill you in. So I'm going to do a welcome. First of all, we're going to go live on Facebook, on Devoted Columbus.
Okay.
I don't know if you have the ability to share on Devoted Dayton and Cincinnati. I think you can share the link once I go live.
That's fine.
Okay.
We only have like 200 followers because we've only been around for 2 months. I might actually get more people on my personal Facebook page.
Share it
Okay.
wherever you want.
Yeah, wherever you want to.
Once the link goes live, I usually share it to the resale market group. I share it to my Ohio Brides Helping Brides. I share it to Devoted Pros. I share it everywhere. So you can then share it wherever you want.
Okay, so I can just do it as a watch party, right?
Yes, you can. Yes. Jamie, please make me host.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And then once we go live, I'll do a little welcome, and I script myself out so I don't lose my place here. And then I'll introduce you guys. So as I introduce you guys, just wave. And then I'm gonna put and Andrea, one of our lovely wedding day assistants.
And you're saying Wedding Chat Wednesday with wine and wedding planners. And do mention Kathy has been a wedding planner for 1 million years, just like me. 1 million years, exactly.
900,000 years.
Yes, that's right.
2 years longer than me.
I'm just gonna, I don't even know where to put that.
Oh, then that's okay. Well, aren't you saying she's with Devoted Cincinnati and Dayton, and she's also been a wedding planner for how many years, Kathy?
Sweet 16, baby.
16 years.
Yep, and event planning for 22. Don't let my wrinkles deceive you. I'm older under the hood.
So if I say who has also been a wedding planner for 16 years.
Yep.
And then I may as well say, Andrea, how long have you been a wedding planner?
7.5.
For almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Tammy,
Are we talking corporate events or just weddings?
whatever.
Just say you've been planning events for how long? 20 million years.
20 years. No. Probably like 17 years.
And then Jamie, what was yours?
You can just say 19.
Nearly a quarter century.
Is that how many it is? That's crazy. 2001. Yeah, 19. Okay. I actually had to calculate that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do my welcome. And then do you have that email that I sent with the reasons to attend a wedding show and the pro tips? Okay. So I put your names by those. So what I'm going to do is when I'm going to start off with Tammy. So after do my welcome to say, so Tammy, I'll start with you. What are your top reasons that couples should attend a wedding show? So she's going to do her first 3. And then I'm going to say, we can chime in. We can go, oh my gosh, I know. Yes, that totally, if you want to. And then Kathy, you're next. You have 4 and 5. You can elaborate on them if you want. So you're like, oh, I think it's an awesome opportunity for couples to get inspiration. New trends on decor coming out all the time. That kind of thing, if that makes sense. And then after Kathy is Jamie. And then I'll switch over to, okay, let's say couples decide that they're going to attend a bridal show. What are some of our tips, so tips from the pros, we want to share with them? And so Kathy, you'll go first. I'll say, Kathy, you want to go? And you say, oh, bring someone, your fiance, your girls, your mom, whoever. You just, don't come into this alone.
Have your support team.
Yeah, you want a support team. So
Am I allowed to say bride tribe?
Yes.
yeah.
I know. By little things these days, so I have to ask and make sure that that's okay.
No. We try to say couples instead of bride and groom all the time, but other than that, anything goes.
Okay, good.
So, okay. And then at the end, we'll wrap up. I'll ask Andrea if she has any other pro tips from a vendor's perspective. And then I'll ask if anybody has anything else. So if we're chatting and we have a whole bunch of stuff in the chat, then maybe we can call some stuff out there. And then Jamie will close us with about our upcoming shows for Devoted. So any questions?
Nope. 6 o'clock.
I know. You're going to have to give me a second. I've got to set this up.
Glass of wine either. Man, I didn't wear lipstick. I didn't wear wine. Duck lips.
Well, now you know for next time.
Oh, I am always this perky, by the way.
I like it. Okay, so
right. I'm gonna mute.
So if everybody can go on mute for just a minute.
Yep.
Columbus. This is always so slow.
This is being broadcast into the Facebook fan page, correct?
To our Devoted Columbus Facebook page, yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
It's taking forever. Oh, it looks different. All right. Hello, lovely listeners. Welcome to Wedding Chat Wednesday with wine or beer and wedding planners. I'm your host, Michelle Ritchie, and I manage the wedding team at Devoted Columbus. Today, we are going to talk about attending wedding shows. We're going to tell you why you should attend a wedding show and while you're engaged, as well as discuss a few tips from the pros when it comes to attending one. So, but first, Let me introduce to you to everybody who's on the phone tonight. So first we have Jamie Rapavy, the owner and CEO of Devoted Columbus. She's been planning for 19 years and probably a little bit more. She's not counting. We also have Kathy Peach Lucas with Devoted Cincinnati and Dayton. She's been planning for 16 years. And we have Tammy Hudson, the owner of Engaged Columbus, who's been planning events for about 17 years. She had to count in her head. And finally, we have Andrea Sargent, one of our lovely wedding day assistants who also owns her own business, who's been planning for almost 8 years, 7.5 or so. So welcome, ladies, and thank you for being here tonight. So if you are listening in tonight, either live or after, and haven't been to a wedding show, a bridal boutique, or any type of vendor showcase, we are going to tell you why you need to attend a show at some point in your planning journey. So this chat actually comes perfectly timed. We're hosting our big show this Sunday, October 24th, at the Embassy Suites Hilton Columbus. So we are super excited to tell you about all the reasons that you should attend. So with that, Tammy, I'll start with you. What are some of the top reasons that couples should attend a wedding show?
Well, first of all, I think it's just one of those things that every couple should do in the planning process. It's almost like, just a ritual. One of the things you should always do is get your fiance, your bridesmaids, your moms, whoever, and go to a bridal show. The number one reason most brides and grooms or couples go to a bridal show is to meet their potential vendors. Obviously, this is a great opportunity to meet face-to-face, to find out who's available on your day. Definitely, who's there. You want to build your team. And so obviously going to a bridal show really helps eliminate a lot of time by searching online, and just gives you the opportunity to meet these vendors face to face. It's a great way to find out if you click with somebody. Think about going on a date or, meeting somebody online. You're not going to know if you click just by seeing what they are doing online and getting good reviews. You want to see if you click yourself. And these are the vendors that are going to be working with you for the next 9 to 12 months or however long you're going to be spending planning your wedding. So obviously you want to make sure that whoever you pick, you click with, and this is a great way to meet those vendors face to face in a very casual atmosphere. The pressure's not on, you know what I mean? It's not like a blind date where you're meeting at a coffee shop. This is a really cool place to meet because the vendors are talking to lots of people, you're meeting lots of people. It's very casual, no pressure. So anyway, so obviously that's probably my number one reason to attend a bridal show. The second reason, there's so many different reasons, but I don't think a lot of couples realize that you could save money. I know I mentioned before saving time, which right now we all agree schedules are so busy. So to actually take the time to research vendors, make the calls, schedule the appointments, go to meet them, that's huge. But in addition to saving that time, you've got saving money. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, how is it any cheaper to do this? Well, guess what? This is something a lot of people won't tell you, but vendors actually offer show specials. So if you don't see a show special, ask. What are your specials? What are your show specials? Even if they're put on the spot, they might say, you know what, for you, if you book today, 10%, whatever, you never know. So a lot of times this is going to end up saving you some money. So definitely come to a show, find out about the show specials, because that is a great back door into saving money that you wouldn't have known about. The third reason I think you should definitely come to a show, besides meeting your vendors. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention also meeting vendors that you may not even have known that you wanted or needed. you might go to a show thinking, I already have a photographer, I already have this, but do you have a claw machine that grabs alcohol? Do you have, right now there's so many cool vendors that we don't think about. You don't need, there's so much more than just your photographer and your florist and your cake vendor. There's a ton more out there, and bridal shows are always a great way to find out if this is something that would be cool at your wedding, because there's always new and innovative things. And I know for me, I don't even know about these things until I go to like wedding MBA shows or other things. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. I would have never known about if I didn't attend the show. But I'm sorry, I digress. The number 3, expert advice. A lot of times you might have questions about your wedding or how things run. These are vendors who they're there to talk, they're there to share, and this is a great opportunity to get that expert advice. I've attended bridal shows, I've worked bridal shows. My favorite bridal show honestly is Jamie's bridal show, the wedding experience. And no, seriously, the reason why is because the vendors give experiences. A lot of times you go to bridal shows or wedding shows and it's like a big trade show and it's like, oh, what swag do you have, trick or treat, whatever, move on. But what I really love about the wedding experience is the advice you're going to get, the expert advice, the tips, and the actual experiences. So those probably, for me, I'm sure you guys probably have your own set, are my top 3 reasons to hit up a bridal show or wedding show.
And as vendors, we love giving advice. Like, we will give it all day. So,
Sure.
I love those. I love those. Thank you so much. So, Kathy, what are your top reasons to attend?
Well, I think nowadays, especially given the fact that for the last 6 months or so, engaged couples have been restricted to their laptops for a lot of their wedding planning because they haven't had bridal shows to go to. And I did a bridal show a few weeks ago in Cincinnati, and every bride there I'd never seen brides and grooms so excited and enthusiastic at a bridal show before, because it was almost like they had cabin fever. And I think that is going to be even more inspiring than other things that the vendors are going to have on display at the show. I think that inspiration and that excitement that the couples are going to be giving off is going to rub off on the vendors as inspiring, just as much as the vendors are going to rub off on the couples as being inspiring. Because one thing that I think all engaged couples need to realize is, us vendors, we miss you too. We miss the weddings just as much as you do. And, we're professional people pleasers. That's why we do what we do for a living. We want you to be happy, and we want to get that hug at the end of the night, because that's just as good as any tip you'll give us. That makes us know that you're happy. So kind of keeping with, just being inspired at bridal shows, you'll get ideas for how can I design my cake? What are some of the latest cake trends? What are some ideas for floral centerpieces? What do certain flowers smell like? Those are things that you can't necessarily learn off Pinterest. You'll talk with different photographers and you'll be like, oh, I love that shot that they did. Or, oh, this album feels so like, I love the material and it's so heavy, and, it's not something I can get at Walmart. You're going to see and feel the difference. And, that just trends are constantly changing. And I think, all the professionals on this panel will say the same thing. I think that couples have changed since March. Their priorities are different. Their tastes are different. They're coming up with creative ideas to help with encourage social distancing at their receptions. So like one new trend is not necessarily decor, but it's a new trending idea, are comfort bracelets. And, if you say comfort bracelets, I probably would have thought of something I traded in grade school when somebody made me a bracelet and then I was their BFF. Well, nowadays a comfort bracelet it's 3 different colors, and it indicates what is your COVID safety level. Red, stay 6 feet away from me. Green, give me a big hug. And then yellow, I'm more of an elbow bump kind of girl right now. And again, these are all things that are just coming out of what we've been dealing with the pandemic. The other thing that, these poor couples who've been planning from a laptop the last few months, you can't do this on the line, is taste food, taste cake samples, taste catering. That is a wonderful way to find 4 bakeries in less than an hour and try them all and decide which bakery you want. Because if you were to schedule a one-on-one cake tasting with a bakery, it's going to be 30 minutes to get there, an hour to sit down, do the tasting, fill out the paperwork, decide what you want, have the baker sketch out a cake, give you a quote, then you go home, then you decide if you want that. And then if you decided, oh, maybe I should talk to somebody else, then you got to repeat the process again, which is another 2.5 hours of time. You won't even be at the bridal show for 2.5 hours. You could go to all 4 bakeries and decide which one you like. Same thing with the catering. Every caterer is going to have a different style of cuisine that they specialize in, or they'll have that signature piece of whatever. I'm thinking hors d'oeuvre. They refer to them as pieces when you meet with your caterer. But also look at the presentation of the food. See how is it that they put it on the plate? Are you going to have a plated meal? Are you going to do a buffet? Because given COVID restrictions, there are new ways that you have to execute buffets with your licensed caterer. So those are all some, wedding shows are inspirational. You can taste things, you can see things, you can feel things, touch things, smell things. Those are the things that I know couples miss so much right now. And you could get it at a bridal show, and now bridal shows are back.
Yeah, those are great reasons to attend. I know those comfort bracelets are they're trending hardcore right now. And I think it's a great idea. You make a great point about new trends. New trends come out every year, but this year has changed, has made us think about what we add to weddings differently. And some of these trends are going to continue, I think, and just evolve throughout the year or the years to come.
All right. Year.
Okay, I hope COVID goes away, but some of these trends are really awesome. I know, one of the big things too that came out of this was having your DJ do a little bit like something different. So to entertain guests a little differently than just opening the dance floor, we have a DJ that we're all really close with who does trivia, and that's his big thing. And I hope things like that continue. I really like that extra little-ness to add to reception. All right, Jamie, what are your top items?
I have so many, Michelle. No, well, as I named our event the Wedding Experience, we've all touched a little bit on experiences, but it definitely is that. Shows to me, I want to make sure are more than just visiting a vendor at a booth. I really, you're out there to experience them. So I love when, our DJs are actually playing some music and they're doing some emceeing so you can hear their speaking skills, or the photographers are taking pictures, or we have a photo booth that you can jump in so you can actually experience the photo booth. I don't know, when you go and interview a photo booth person and you want to get it, do you get really the experience? I know you all have jumped in one before, but they're all different in some way. So, there'll be photo booths you can jump into, and, actually seeing dresses on people as well is a little different than seeing it on a rack, so these are the type of experiences and I'll probably get into this later, but we've got different things like a mobile bar. So you can see mobile bar, how a mobile bar would look. If you wanted caricatures, if you wanted hair and makeup done. I know, one of the new things we have that somebody's showcasing at our show this year is a mobile beauty salon. So you can jump in the mobile salon and get your hair and makeup done. I'm sure that salon goes to different places, but you'll see that at our upcoming show. So just a lot of fun things. We've got favors. Everybody kind of forgets about those and waits till the last minute. But whether it be the cocktail claw and your guests can win their own favor there, or whether it be little cookie favors, and by the way, you're going to get to decorate them by one of our drag queen people at our show. I mean, we have a lot of fun things coming up. So it's the experiences. And the other thing that I think is so important is there's always prize giveaways, but what's different about our show is there's no strings attached prize giveaways. So, things like full free videography or a free photo booth or a free character artist, or we're giving away a free $1,000 spending spree at Worthington Jewelers or free 7 nights at a hotel. I mean, these are just free things. So we have over 10,000 prizes we're giving away, and stay tuned tomorrow. Watch Facebook if you're seeing this, because I might have a secret. We might be giving away a $2,000 wedding gown for free to someone that fits the size and needs it, never worn. So I'm gonna pick it up, make sure I've got it before I launch it, but it would go to maybe somebody that's had a really bad experience with their wedding, maybe financial trouble, had to cancel and could really use a dress. So who knows, or somebody that just is in need, we want to give it to. So watch social for that. And the goodie bags. I mean, you get bags at shows, bags you can use for future. We stuff our goodie bags with lots of, I don't know, all vendors put lots of items, but free, like, we got free appetizers. We got free game cards to Scene 75. There's so much in there. It's crazy. So lots of fun stuff. But I'm going to say experiences and prizes are my top 2, because you guys all said wonderful things so far as well.
All right. So prizes are like they're real things. This is not like, okay, well, we'll give you this much off if you spend this much. Like, we're not talking about those types of prizes here. We're talking about life-changing, like, seriously, I mean, this can save you, anywhere from $50, and $50, guys, is $50, to, thousands of dollars on your wedding. And we all know wedding planning is not cheap. Planning a wedding is not cheap. So yeah,
and everybody could use some prizes now. So now's the time. But yeah, you don't have to be present to win. We're doing virtual in addition. So, there's opportunity for everyone.
So it's really easy this year to win and save some money and win. When I was planning my wedding, I did not opt in to go to any shows. I don't even think I knew what a wedding show was. Maybe I thought, I don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. Like, we're constantly saying, okay, don't sell me. You're not going to get sold. You're going in to get an education and to talk with people who, of course, want to do your wedding, but
gather information. Gather information.
Yeah, research. And you get a whole bunch of stuff with it and you won't be sold. So get that out of your mind. I can tell you from experience, you won't. Okay, so now that our listeners know why they need to attend, let's talk about some tips when they choose to attend a wedding show. So this time I'll start with Kathy. What are some your top tips for couples?
Bring a friend. Bring a friend, bring your fiance, bring your mom, bring your bride tribe, bring whoever you want. But this is definitely an experience that you want to do with a group of people. It's an activity. It's an outing. It's supposed to be a fun time. So bring them all. If you need to have a groom sitter, just take them first to the cake place, get them some cake samples, then get them some beef, and then
send them to the bar. Send them to the bar next.
Then go to the bar. Yeah, just do those 3 things. If you have somebody who needs some groom sitting, because sometimes the grooms are like, honey, I could be home watching the football game. Why am I here? That's actually normal, so don't feel bad. The other thing that is normal is when you're getting ready to leave, you will probably feel like your head is about to spin off or swell so much that it's just going to explode off of your head because you're so overwhelmed. That's normal too. Because you have to think about all this information that is, it's information overload. You're getting this massive amount of, vendor information, ideas, prices, specials, giveaways. It's a lot to take in a short period of time. So when you get home, yes, that's normal. You're a normal couple. You're a normal bride. You're a normal groom. That is how it's supposed to go. That's why you bring your friends with you. Tip number 2, if you would like to save your hand with this beautiful, oh, my engagement ring's in the house. Ah! I was supposed to be pointing to my beautiful rock. If you would like to save your beautiful hand some cramping for writing for over and over and over the same information over and over and over, just print out some address labels or bring some of those free address labels that you always seem to get a few times a year asking for donations, and then you never give the donation, but you keep the address label. Bring those with you, because those will be very helpful when you go to each person's booth, because they will be giving specific things away at their booth, like a free this or free that or $100 gift card off of this. And you want to be able to, enter all of those things. The other thing that you want to make sure that you have is anything that you have booked up to this point. So if you know your date, if you have an idea of the dates that you're going to be choosing, make sure you bring those with you, because with the venues in particular, they need to know what your real date actually is, so that they can check availability. If you do not have a date and a venue yet, and this is your first experience going to a bridal show, the best advice I can give with that is collect a lot of information, gather a lot of information, ask questions, and learn the process. Because what you will find is that the caterers, the photographers, the florists, the DJs, they're not going to be able to go past a certain point until you have booked a venue, because that signals to them that you have a solid date where this event is going to take place. So please still come to the shows. I mean, you definitely want to go to the shows, but just understand that, if you don't have a date and a venue yet, you will be able to have conversations, gathering information to a point, but until you have a solid date, the DJ is not going to be able to really quote you appropriately because he doesn't know if you're going to be available. The other thing is to create a wedding only email address, and your supervisor will thank you for this. Your employer will thank you for this, because you will get emails after every wedding show you go to. And that's because the list is collected when you register, and that information is shared with the exhibitors. And the exhibitors want to create a relationship with you. They want to work at your wedding. They want your business. And following up with you is one of those ways. So if you have one email address for all wedding related things, one, everything's in one place, but two, you don't have to worry about your email bleeping all day long while you're trying to work. Because let's face it, we go to work because we have to make a living and bring home money so we could pay for the wedding. And I don't think our employers really want us wedding planning while we're there. So those would be my big, tidbits. That, and I know it sounds silly, but wear pockets. And the reason why is, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about this later, but when you go to these shows, you're going to forget who you talk to. Your head is going to spin like crazy. You're going to feel overwhelmed. So like, let's say you're talking with me and I'm at the Devoted booth. You'll also see me running around. I'm doing a social media takeover. So we'll be broadcasting live from Facebook from the show. So let's say you go to the Devoted booth and go, yeah, she was a very, very, very perky blonde with glasses. They're going to know if you jot it down on the back of my business card and you put that in your pocket and you get home, you're going to exactly remember who I am, because you made a mental note, you jotted it down, and you put it separately from everything else. So that would be the other piece of advice I would get, wear pockets.
Those are good advice. Great point on the jotting notes. So yes, if you are in it to find all of your vendor or your wedding team, it's always a good idea to have a pen, and you will have pens in your goodie bag. You'll find them, but bring a pen just in case. And write notes. If you really like someone, you really clicked with someone, just like we do in the marketing world, say, perky blonde with glasses, loved her, just little notes on the back of the paper that they give you. That's great advice. Thank you. And the email, wedding only email, you will get emails. And you can use your wedding only email to keep your personal email just separated. You don't want things to get lost. You don't want contracts to get lost. So just, post show, you actually planning your wedding, you don't want to lose these things. So having that extra email that may be linked to your email so you can easily access it, key point, is a great call out as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tammy, what are your top tips?
I would say for me, my tip is to register early. And the reason why is because, you're not going to run out of tickets, although nowadays with COVID, I think with time tickets, you might, I'm not sure, but you're going to pay more at the door. It's kind of like, just anything. So I know that things happen where you don't know all the time whether or not you're going to be able to come, or your fiance is going to be able to come, or whatever, and you do pay at the door, but usually you can get a discounted price if you get the ticket online ahead of time. So that's a good way to save some money. And the second reason is, once you get there, if there is a line at registration, guess what? You're already registered. You're probably going to get through that line a lot quicker than the person who still has to pay. So I would say definitely pre-register, buy your ticket. And the other thing, especially when it comes to prizes, and I'm not sure how it works with your show, Jamie, but with other shows, if you pre-register, then you may already be eligible for those prizes ahead of time if they were to pull the names ahead of time. So it's always better to get your name in earlier rather than later. The other thing I want to mention is, because you are walking around quite a bit and you're standing, is to be comfortable and make sure you wear comfortable shoes. I have been to bridal shows or wedding shows where they are just done up with heels and everything. And I'm always amazed. I'm like, did you just come from church? Why do you look so good? And good for them. But I'm like, oh, my back would be killing me if that was me. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can tell when people get tired because they'll sit at the display tables, which I don't recommend doing. So if you go to a wedding show or a bridal show, this is just more etiquette stuff. The designer or the florist worked hard on making their table pretty. Try to not sit at those tables. Usually the venue will have some dedicated tables. And then obviously, aside from being comfortable and wearing comfortable clothes and pockets and comfortable shoes, is don't be afraid of the vendors. I know Michelle just touched on, they're not going to sell you, what are they going to do if they talk to you? And chances are they're all going to talk to you, because that's what we do as vendors. We want to talk to you, but don't be shy. You know what I mean? A lot of times, I see couples and they stand back and they're like looking at your booth like, should we do anything? Should we say anything? And I'm one of those people who just jump out and I'm like, hey, what's up? Come talk to me. When's your wedding day? But not all vendors are like me. So you may get those vendors who are shy and looking at you and you're shy looking at them. Somebody's got to make the first move. So don't be shy. Just, don't be offended, or don't think you're being offensive, I should say, if you just come up and say, what do you do? I've had tons of people come up, a lot of times, unless it says so-and-so photography or so-and-so florist, you may not know. And it's okay to say, what do you offer? What do you do? What's your show special? So don't be shy. If all else fails, bring your most outgoing friend or bridesmaid or sister or whoever else and have them do it for you. But no need to be shy at shows like this, because it's all love. Anyway, so those are mine.
No, those are good. And I would also add that you don't, you know, you don't have to shut people down when they're just trying to chat with you. If you're really like, oh, you know what, we already have a photographer. Hey, we already have a photographer, but thank you so much. Be nice, be courteous. That's all we ask as vendors ourselves. All right, Jamie, what are your top tips?
I would say some other tips. One went along with something Kathy said with the pockets, but it's always a good idea to have 2 bags. So most likely you'll get a bag at registration, and there's going to be some other vendor giving out bags, but you can always bring one too, or you have your purse. But give 1 bag to somebody that's with you, the heavier one. No, and then the lighter bag you can carry. And the items, if you go to people and they're just handing you stuff, go ahead and take it, and you can put that in your no bag if it's something you already have, or if it's something you've chatted with and you like, oh my gosh, I've got to call this person, that goes in your yes bag. So bring a yes bag and a no bag, and that yes bag are the things that you're going to go through when you get back. And again, that's to save you time, right? And then your phones. Okay, we all have our phones, but make sure it's fully charged, because there are going to be a lot of things you're going to want to take pictures of. So whether it be the display tables or the cake or a cool idea that you saw, a cool favor, a cool signature, like display frame, calligraphy, whatever it is, and you want to take pictures of it, bring it, take lots of pictures, have fun. And even QR codes, some people will have you snap pictures of QR codes taking you to different places. I know our QR code will take you to the grand finale live stream that we're going to be doing. So bring those phones and chargers. It is at a hotel, so there's going to be places to charge, but do it early. And then, you're also going to want to make sure you have availability to check your calendars and stuff. So many times it is not a weird thing for you to book a service on site. I mean, we did have a cake person. She said, she left the show and she's like, I just booked either 7 appointments. Most likely it's appointments. So she booked 7 appointments where they're going to go through the designing, not unheard of to actually book services on site. But don't feel pressured either. I really don't feel any vendor should make you feel pressured about making a decision. We don't like that. They usually will offer a show special that day, and within a certain amount of time after the show, so you have some time to think about it. But you might want to know your calendar for scheduling anything. And then I used to do something, when I was helping brides as a wedding planner, I would encourage them to go to shows. Sometimes I went to shows with them, but I prefer not to. But so what I would do is I would actually map out a plan, because we would say, okay, you need a photographer, you still need a cake, and you're interested in dance lessons. Great. Okay. So we mapped out who was there and what room they're going to be and where you're going to go ahead of time. And you beeline it to those specific vendors that you need to book first, and so you get the important things out of the way, and then you can go have fun with all the fluffy other stuff, but the drinking and all that stuff. So we do at our show, we do have cash bars, but you get a free signature drink with every ticket. So you get your drink and you get lots of food samples and cake samples and buntinis and all this fun stuff. So you might want to come a little hungry. That's the other thing. Don't come full, because then you're not going to get to experience all. It's going to be a little different in COVID for experiences, as you have to be seated in order to take your mask off, in order to eat. So we will have seated places near every food vendor, every cake vendor. We have seats where you can sit and eat and move on. And then the full lobby will be seated. So kind of nice. So those are some of my tips.
Yeah, those are good tips. I really don't know if our couples realize that they should have a plan, especially if they only have, 2 vendors to book. Do those first. Go talk to those vendors first. If you're starting from ground zero, maybe you start with the venues first. Go talk to those venues to see if you can get your date or your hopeful date booked. And yeah, so absolutely. And I love the 2 bag ideas. So I didn't realize the 2 bags was a thing. So thank you for enlightening me to that. But that's genius. Genius.
So now we're going to be watching every bride see
I
who
will.
actually listened to this.
No bags. Oh, very good. Okay, so Andrea, well, we've all been vendors, but Andrea, I wanted to give you the opportunity to give us some tips from like a vendor's perspective.
Sure. I was listening intently to, all the tips that everyone was saying already. With, like what you had said, Michelle, if you already have a vendor booked, don't be rude while blowing off another vendor, but, just politely decline their services. But 2, I think Tammy said it earlier, you might want to still talk to, all the vendors that you don't think that you need, because you don't know what other services that they might be able to offer, and you don't know what you need. You don't know what you don't need. So I would definitely suggest that. And then also piggybacking off of something that Kathy said earlier about, it's a great time to taste, cake samples and, food samples, multiple samples in one place. I think that goes for all the vendors. If you don't already have them booked, it's a great time to speak to 4 or 5 different vendors, come with the questions that you want to ask, see, whose answers you like the most. And then 2, I always tell couples, if you're having 2 or 3 of the same vendor that they do the same thing at the same price, figure out which one that you like. Which one do you like talking to? Who do you click with? Because like Tammy said earlier, a lot of these vendors are going to be with you throughout your day. So if you don't like them, then you're not going to want this person hanging around you all day taking photos. You want to make sure that you like their personality, see who comforts you, who puts you at ease, because it can be overwhelming to come to a bridal show and talking with all these different people. So who, puts your worries at ease, and that who you would want to work with and talk with more. Who do you want to give your business to, basically? Mm-hmm. And I think figuring that out by coming to the bridal show, talking with multiple people in one area can help with that a lot.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think too, going to one bridal show, you may not find all of your vendors, and I think all of us understand that. You may be able to you could absolutely pick every single vendor at one show, but go to several. There's going to be different mix of vendors at each. Now, I think as people who are involved in shows, we try to compile the most experienced and the best vendors in our area, but that doesn't always mean that the very best is going to be there due to conflict or whatever. So attend multiple shows to get every single vendor that you want. So
you don't have to attend the whole time either. Again, go with a mission, and you can attend for as long as you'd like or as short of a period of time. But especially if you get those discount tickets early, no matter what show, grab them, go. It's more chances to win prizes, more vendors you can meet. The funny thing is, we get brides that come to our show that aren't even engaged yet. We get brides that have come to like 4 of our shows, and we're looking at them like, aren't you married yet? It's like, I just like coming to your shows.
So funny story on that. There was a bride who we had seen for a year and a half. She came to every show. I mean, every show we've ever done, plus our like off shows or our resale markets, with her and her mom. And we're not friends on Facebook, but I happened to see her on one of our groups, and I did creep on her wedding photos, because I mean, it was like we knew her at that point.
We were best friends.
It was exciting to see her go through that. So
that's cool.
I've seen mothers and mothers-in-laws come without the couple at bridal shows a lot, because maybe the engaged couple lives out of state, and so mom or best friend or mother-in-law come and they gather the information, and I think that's sweet too. So if you can't make it, send somebody on your behalf, to come and do the detective work for you, because if they're going to be taking part in the wedding at all, especially if they're paying for it, it's and actually, I think it makes them feel very good. I've never seen a mother or mother-in-law come to a bridal show who wasn't super excited to be doing this for her kids. So
Yeah,
that too. Very cool. Yeah, what Andrea was saying too, of piggybacking off of vendors that you might think, like if you go up to a venue and you're like, oh, I have my venue, but have you thought about your, where are you having your rehearsal dinner? Are you doing any location for showers? Maybe where they're having the bachelor party or bachelorette party. So there's so many other things. Or if it's a caterer, do you need catering for anything else? How about brunch the next day? How about, food for getting ready? Whatever it may be, they might be able to do that. So be open-minded when attending and think outside the box. So
that even brings up, you'll have other opportunities to have catered food. I mean, past your wedding, you've got other people's weddings. You have, I don't know, girls' brunches, whatever the situation is, family dinners. You'll always have those people's contacts, and you'll remember maybe they weren't quite the one for your wedding, but maybe they're perfect for that other event. So yeah, keep that open mind. Think beyond your wedding with some of these things, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, so does anybody, so I think we've covered everything, but before we end today's chat, does anybody have anything else to add? Any other pro tips or advice?
Have fun.
You can't help but have fun. When the music is playing and there's food being shoved at you, why? Of course, there's options for prizes. You know what kills me every time I go to a bridal show as a vendor is just how good the odds are of winning prizes. You know what I mean? There's tons of different shows and it's insane. I mean, didn't one couple win a couple times at the WPC show last week? Maybe?
Yeah, every single couple that came won a prize, number one, and there was two couples that won two prizes. So
yes.
Guys, come on. And there were like gift cards, Starbucks gift cards people were giving out, and like cool prizes,
The odds are amazing because most of the time, every single vendor has something to give away. And so honestly, the odds are good. If you buy lottery tickets, go to a bridal show because your odds are way better. Yeah. If you play bingo, go to a bridal show. Your odds are way better. So yes, I'm all down for the prizes and the odds of winning. So
you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My big tip would just be to, before you start really diving into the planning, set a budget and stick to it, because going bankrupt is no way to start a marriage. Being in credit card debt is no way to start a marriage. And there is going to be a vendor that you need in every price range. I think the bridal show will also be an eye-opener for you as to what things cost.
Yes.
And, and if there's a photographer that says, oh, well, our packages start at $2,500 and you had only budgeted, say $1,500, and you really, really like that photographer, maybe you need to pull from someplace else in the budget. Mm-hmm. How important is having that 5-tier cake? Or could you maybe do a display cake with a lower level and then sheet cakes in the back to save a little bit of money? So you really have to, get an idea of what things cost, but please set your budget, stick to it. And, if there's something that you're looking for, ask your vendors, because they can even point you in the right direction on some things. I mean, this is what we do for a living. And we know everybody in the industry, and we work with just about every vendor out there, and we know who's good, and we know who will be a better fit for something that you're looking for. Or, let's say you go to the bridal show and you see something, but it's not exactly what you want, and then you go down the aisleway and then you're like, that's what I want. Oh, it's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Again, try to reevaluate what is important, and how do you want to shift your budget, and do you need to raise your budget a bit? Are you learning that maybe you have caviar taste and a dollar menu budget? That happens quite a bit. And it just comes back to knowing what's available out there, what it costs, and just try to remember what weddings are about. Are you and the one you love exchanging vows in front of family and friends? Everything else is a party. And so you focus on that and everything else will come together.
Good advice.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all for your awesome tips and reasons to go to a bridal show. I mean, you're hearing it from individuals who have been a part of throwing and attending and being vendors at shows for years. So listen to us. We have all the advice for you. So with that, Jamie, I'm going to throw it over to you. If you want to tell all of our listeners out there kind of some of our upcoming shows and wrap us up.
Sure, will do. So we do, as we've mentioned, the wedding experience is coming up this Sunday. So this Sunday at the Embassy Suites Columbus from 1 to 4:30 is our bridal show. We will be streaming the grand finale live, which is, one of the differences. So you don't have to be present to win. It will be online at 4, but if you're not going to attend, you can attend virtually as well. You can attend for free virtually, or if you want an entry into the grand prizes, it's $5, or you can get your tickets this week up until noon on Friday for $10. They'll be probably, I think they're 15 at the door, 12 or 15 at the door, but our 1 o'clock is sold out. So any on-site registration will not be happening until 1:30 or 2 o'clock. So those are 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock are our timeframes that are open to arrive. You can stay until 4:30, but we hope to see you out there. You're going to get, again, if you're physically there, you get 2 entries to those $10,000 in prize giveaways, 2 entries, and the swag bag full of goodies. You're going to get all the experiences, the drink ticket. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you out there. After that, in November, on November 29th, we have our wedding resale market. Our biggest one in February happened, but our middle one got pushed back due to COVID. So this one's going to be a great one. November 29th at the McCoy Center from 10:30 is the VIP tickets till 2 o'clock. It is a big wedding garage sale. They're going to launch this in Cincinnati and Dayton in January. So there'll be one there as well for all of those brides. But this is a great opportunity to save a ton of money on decor and gently used items from brides. So come and shop from other past brides. And we're Devoted Columbus, so if there is anything we can do for you here in Columbus, or Kathy in Cincinnati or Dayton, we are here for you. We have our online wedding directories as a resource with all of our vendors on there for you. We have discount coupons on there because we believe in saving you guys money everywhere. We know the expense as planners, and so our goal is to save you money, make sure you have fun in the process. And we're here as event planners as well. So if you need any assistance on the wedding day or planning along the way, give us a ring. So thanks so much for being with us tonight. And hopefully we'll see you at one of our 2 upcoming shows, if not both of them. And if you ever have questions along the way, feel free to reach out to us, devotedcolumbus.com or info@devotedcolumbus.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.